I'm Felicia,
And I'm Ian.
and we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of The Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys,
Hey, guys.
it's the Paranormal Lovers in the evening. We're a little loopy. All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode, number 148. We got a little bit of quick business before we get started. We are having a sale this week that ends tomorrow, the 7th. Use code UNLOCK20 at checkout to get 20% off. Again, use code UNLOCK20 at theparanormallovers.threadless.com by 5 p.m. Central Time tomorrow to get 20% off site wide. Also, June 27th, we will again be vending at Hayco Pride on Main this year.
Woo.
It will be a Saturday. Location has not been sent out yet, but we will let you guys know as soon as we find out where it's being held. We really hope to see some of our fans there.
I want to try to do a live stream there.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, that would be fun.
Maybe
Also,
on Instagram or something.
My new friend, Punk Rock Barbie from the store, Elena, you better show up, girl. I will see you. Anyways, so with all that out of the way, what did you love about this week?
Probably punk flea market. That
The punk market.
Yeah. was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's been going around. You guys can look it up. It's the Southeast Punk Market on Instagram. They were in Atlanta this weekend, I think. I'm not sure where they're going to be at next weekend, but they're just kind of floating around, and you can see all kinds of cool shit from some dope vendors, man.
Yeah.
And it was just a wonderful couple hours of being transported back to the 90s.
Yeah.
And it smelled like the 90s.
Right.
Not 90s prices, though.
No.
Not 90s prices.
No. What did you love about this week?
Oh, I started my new medicine. Hey. I actually started it last week, but it was like on a Thursday or something. So I had to see where it was going to go this week. And it's been pretty good so far. It's actually battled against my PMDD pretty fucking well. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Only had a small minor meltdown this month. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's good.
Yep.
All right. So, if you guys have listened to our last Rethinking Our History episode, okay, last week, not the one this week, number 67, you will remember Ian wondered what would be more haunted, the Ash Building or Charity's Pier. And that was from our episode about the Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire. I voted building, and it got me wondering, since this building sits on the campus of New York University, I bet the whole damn college is haunted as hell.
I'm sure.
And it sure fucking is. The Ash Building is obviously not the only building on the campus, nor is it the oldest. In fact, NYU was established on April 18th, 1831 by, quote, a group of prominent New York residents from the city's landed class of merchant, bankers, and traders, end quote. The school was established to bridge the class gap and was meant to enroll young men based off of merit instead of social class or birthright. The founders also wanted to expand their courses to include more practical education. Up until this point, most schools of higher education only taught about literature and religion, but these founders wanted to include practical courses such as math, modern languages, history, and science. Really, they weren't teaching that stuff in school. They were just teaching you about like philosophy. That's all colleges were fucking for back then. That shit would drive me crazy.
Right.
Which I guess like other stuff was more like trade, maybe. I don't know. This would allow for students to get trade jobs that they would otherwise be unqualified for. And while the school was non denominational, it was started by evangelical Presbyterians.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's fine. They're not Protestant.
Right.
A convention of sorts was held in 1830 in City Hall to outline a plan for the school, which would be modeled after the School of London, which was founded in 1826. The founders attempted to get city and state funding but were rejected. So instead, they raised $100,000 to start the school, which would, quote, make available education to all qualified young men at a reasonable cost, would abandon the exclusive use of classical curriculum, and would be financed privately through the sale of stock, end quote.
Hmm.
The use of a joint stock was meant to keep any one denomination from having too much control over what happened at the school. By 1888, however, the stockholders lost control and a board of trustees took over.
Oh no. Not rich people.
Listen, don't even get me started with the board, okay? I really hope that none of our board members listen to this show from my job. But if y'all do, if y'all don't give my motherfucking assistant manager a goddamn raise. Sorry. Don't even get me started with the board. Like most early colleges, the student body was made up mainly of young white men from wealthy Protestant families, though they claimed they were open to all men. Like, okay, it was the 1800s. Y'all weren't letting black people in. The first president, Albert Gallatin, was disgusted that the curriculum was not based around quote unquote rational and practical learning. The school received their charter on April 2nd, 1831, and was called the University of the City of New York, though it has always been colloquially called New York University. It would officially become NYU in 1896. The first classes were held in a rented room in Clinton Hall near City Hall. The university's first professional school was started in 1832 with the establishment of the School of Law. And there is quite a bit of history on this one, but I promise you there's some spooky shit coming up. So y'all just bear with me, okay? The university was only at Clinton Hall for a few years before admin bought property on the west side or on the east side of Washington Square. Sound familiar to anybody? And began building the old university building in 1833. You remember Washington Square, right?
Yeah, that's where the fire was, right?
It was one side of the building exited out onto Washington Square. Yeah.
Sure.
In 1894, the university bought a campus at University Heights due to the growth of the original location, and that was in the Bronx. This new campus was much larger than the original and would house most of the university's operations, as well as the undergraduate NYU College of Arts and Science and School of Engineering.
Nice.
Yeah. In 1914, Washington Square College was opened as an undergraduate liberal arts college on the Washington Square campus. It would later become the Arts and Science Downtown Division of the university.
I want to go to NYU now.
I wanted to go to NYU so bad when I was in college. It was like one of my dream schools
Yeah.
to get into. But I'm pretty sure their fucking admissions, like the fee to apply is like $50 fucking dollars. 2004 broke ass me did not have $50 fucking dollars to even apply for that goddamn school,
Right.
let alone attend it.
Yeah.
But I would love to. Maybe the next time we go to New York, we need to hit up some of these spots.
Sure.
We can say we've been, even if we didn't get to attend.
Right.
In 1935, NYU opened another campus on Long Island. This one, the Nassau College Hofstra Memorial of New York University, Hampstead, Long Island.
What a name.
Yeah. Later, this campus would break away from NYU and become a fully independent Hofstra University. Women slowly began getting access to the school in 1888 when they were granted admittance to the University Heights College in 1959. Many of the alum were upset over this. In 1959,
Yep.
the year after my mother's birth, they were like, oh no, we don't want women. That's when they were like, well,
Can't learn.
you want these burnt bra ashes, motherfucker? In the student newspaper, they even used a quote from Lord Chesterfield to express their displeasure. And I'm not going to quote it because it was a vulgar ass fucking quote.
Right.
I was
on.
like, God damn,
I don't
y'all
need
are
to hear
getting
that.
vile. Y'all were wild for that age.
Yeah.
In 1871, the school attempted to offer free tuition to certain students, but the wealthy alumni felt that that would make the school a charity institution that would not be suitable for their own children to go to. And since the alumni are the ones who fund the school, the free tuition idea was scrapped.
Mm,
And I hope that fucking school in South Carolina University, all you fucking alums better start snatching your fucking money if they want to get out of pocket about that damn commencement speaker.
right.
Still so mad about it. Around the 1920s, Jewish students began to enroll in droves as many other schools had Jewish quotas that limited how many Jewish students could attend. NYU also attempted something of the sort, but they still had many more Jewish students than any of the Ivy League schools in the area. It was during this decade that the school opened admissions to almost all applicants. By 1929, it was the largest urban university in the US with more than 40,000 students.
Wow.
After World War II and the GI Bill started, enrollment grew to over 70,000 students.
Jeez.
It's a massive school. Like, this is a
Yeah,
legitimate university.
because like if you were going to college, you couldn't be drafted, right?
No, the GI Bill paid. You had to go to war, but then it paid for your schooling.
Oh, I got you.
I want to see something real quick. Trying to figure out how many students. I want to see how many students go. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. As of 2023, Western only had less than 12,000 students.
Yeah.
NYU, that's scary how big that school is. I would probably be terrified of going to that school. It's massive. Plus, it like literally stretches across the whole fucking city of New York.
Yep.
It's not, for people who don't know, if people grew up in areas like us where you got like the college campus, that's like the college campus, everything's on the college campus.
Yeah.
These schools in New York are like, you got these buildings over here for administration, but then you got to go 10 blocks up to get to the art building. And then you got to go over here from Manhattan to Brooklyn to get to the science building. Like, I don't know how the fuck these kids make it to class on time. All right. In 1962, the school got a new president, James McNaughton Hester, who set about raising the school reputation. To do so, he, quote, raised admission standards, widening student recruiting, and hiring new faculty, end quote. This did, in fact, raise the status of the school. While it saw a smaller freshman class that year, there were an increase in grades and test scores. Unfortunately, the smaller class size meant some of the new buildings would go unused, and part of the operating costs would have to be paid for from donations. Beginning in the late 60s and early 70s, a financial crisis hit the New York government and other institutions, including NYU. Their main concern was the urban decay of the Bronx, though they would not talk publicly about it. However, several newspapers had done articles over the previous decade about the decay of the Grand Concourse, which did add to the panic of students and their families. University Heights hit a low point during 1969 and to 1971 when they lost 40% of their enrollment, but were the cause of at least 40% of the university's budget deficit.
Mm,
Ouch. To keep from filing for bankruptcy, NYU sold University's Heights to the City University of New York in 1973. Now it is the Bronx Community College campus. University Heights alumni battled to keep the campus, but it was just not financially possible. Chancellor Sidney Borowitz said about selling the campus, quote, there was so much pressure from Uptown alumni to preserve the Heights that it was only under the threat of possible financial ruin the campus could be sold. With two campuses, NYU would never have prospered as it has, end quote. In the mid 80s, the school became popular with out of state students. Due to this, the school needed new housing and to begin buying up old buildings, making it one of the largest landholders in the city. So they bought old what was it? Old hotels, old nightclubs, like all these old buildings that were defunct. And as you know, these places have history.
Sure.
Also in the 1980s, the then President John Bradamas launched a billion-dollar campaign that was almost completely spent on updating the facilities. In 2003, then President John Sexton launched a $2.5 billion campaign with with most of those funds being spent on faculty and financial aid. And now that we got through the weeds of the history, let's get to the part you all came here for, the hauntings. First, we're going to look at Brittany Hall, which is said to have reports of hauntings going back to 1929. This hall was used as a hotel, and it is said during its construction that a little girl was lost. And I don't just mean she died, she was lost.
Hmm.
Brittany Hall is said to be haunted by the spirit of a little girl named Molly. According to legend, while the building was being built, Molly was playing with her dollies one day when suddenly she lost her balance and fell into the elevator shaft.
Oh no.
An extensive search was lost to recover her body, but in the 100 years since she allegedly fell, her remains have never been found.
Hmm.
Suspicious. And
That's
many of
suspicious.
it is suspicious. And many of the residents of this hall believe she never left the building at all. Quote, strange sounds and whispers echo through the building, especially in the basement. The whispers are unintelligible but eerie enough to send anyone scurrying back to their rooms. However, even the bedrooms aren't always safe. One student recalls waking up from a nap to see a shadowy figure standing in her doorway. Her roommate wasn't home, leading her to believe it was Molly. End quote. Another student claimed she had invited friends over one night and they were all just hanging out when suddenly the door swung open about a foot and they all just sat there staring at it. Having researched the ghost before she moved into the dorm, the student told the spirit that they did not want to play right now, and the door slammed shut.
Huh. All right.
And then all of her friends went, I gotta go.
This is not the D&D campaign I signed
No.
up.
Mm-mm. Then we go over to where our history episode took us last and take a look at Washington Square. It is said shadow figures have been spotted by students who were out enjoying the park at night. It is believed that the shadows were the ghosts of the some 20,000 people buried underneath the park. That's right. Washington Square Park sits on a mass grave of victims of the yellow fever from the late 18th century and early 19th century.
Oh boy. Jesus.
Why are we making parks on top of cemeteries?
Because New York City, they ain't no other land
Like the 5 blocks in New York City on like the outskirts of the island, those 5 blocks are all built on trash.
there. Yeah.
They literally built the island out with trash, literal fucking trash. Trash.
Sure.
I'm sorry. When I learned about this, I feel like I knew that and I forgot it, and then I relearned about it a few weeks ago with this guy on Instagram. He was like, he went to a construction site and they went down far enough that he found oyster shells on Pearl Street from like the 1700s.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, these 5 blocks are all built out with trash."
All right.
Shoo. Um, at Washington Square, of course, there's the Brown Building, which was once the Ash Building and home to the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. If you did not listen to the History Pod on the afternoon of March 25th, 1911, this factory caught fire and killed almost 150 workers. It is said today you can hear crying and screaming in the building as well as smell smoke. Even more, doorknobs have been witnessed jiggling on their own, people trying to escape perhaps.
Right.
Footsteps can be heard running up and down the stairs, and this shit's wild. Lectures and study sessions have been interrupted by the sound of crackling flames, though there's no fire to be found.
Dang,
Just the fucking like, I got goosebumps.
that's crazy.
Like, that shit imagine just sitting there, you're like, "What the fuck is it? Is that a fire? Yeah, it's a fire, but I don't smell a fire." Like,
Wow.
ooh. Ghosts have been spotted in the building as well. It is said that Yetta, and I think we talked about her a little bit last week maybe, or on the other episode. Her name sounds familiar. Yetta, one of the victims, is seen running through the halls, leaving a smell of smoke and burnt flesh.
Oh man.
Other women have been seen running down the halls, and at night, teachers have reported seeing apparitions jump from the windows.
Wow.
And one of the sources that had a really bad joke talking about if you smell smoke, it might just be the chemistry lab. No, it's the dead people that died there, thanks.
Right.
Um, there's another building that is part of NYU that I found interesting and I didn't actually know about, which is crazy because I was what are people who love Edgar Allan Poe called? Povians?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big Povian back in my angsty teenage days. Um, he lived in what is now Furman Hall, located at 85th West 3rd Street. It is said that people can still find his papers in between the bricks, even though it's been renovated many, many times. People also think the footsteps that they hear are Poe, still just hanging out in his house.
Right on.
Maybe it's the fucking Raven, folks. Maybe you got should dip. It's also said that that's where he wrote The Telltale Heart and like some of his more macabre poetry was
Right.
written in the house.
Hmm.
I can imagine that it's got to be kind of weird living in Edgar Allan Poe's house.
For sure.
And that is the history and some of the hauntings at New York University. University? University. So, what do you think, Bill?
It's definitely a universe of some strange stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to go visit. Like I said, I really did want to like attend there when I
Some
was
of the
younger.
buildings look pretty creepy.
They're old too. Some of the buildings. I mean, not you know Europe old or US old.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like some of them, like I said, some of them were hotels, some of them were nightclubs. Like, so they have like their own history before they became college students'
Sure.
lives.
Sure.
Ah,
All of New York was inhabited by indigenous people too. Like
yes,
way before.
and I wish I could remember what they were called because, what was that? Amsterdam, New Amsterdam.
Hmm.
That show, it's a hospital show. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It's fucking great. But they actually talk about that tribe a lot in that show because the director or whatever at the hospital actually has like an acknowledgement sign put up in the lobby acknowledging the native people that lived on that land before New Amsterdam was stole from them,
Right.
which New Amsterdam is what New York was called before New York was called New York.
Right.
But yeah, that's why that's another reason why I love that show because it touches on shit like that,
Yeah.
you know? But they ended it, and I'm sad. All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you guys later.
See you guys. Be kind to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.